Okay, so question number 2. There's been a lot of discussion about food and beverage providers on campus and the role the union plays. Imagine that as president, you are tasked with doing consultation with 2 students. Again, imagine that. You would obviously be expected to consult more. One student tells you they are happy with contracts with Sodexo and Pepsi. Another student tells you that they are against them and they want only student-run options in the building. What are the other considerations you need to take into account, and what do you do? So this goes to Chris first.
Okay, thank you. Interesting question. I think, well, obviously we'd be considering with more than 2 students, but those are the two disparate viewpoints that students would take. And I think that it would be really important to look at the opportunities and the options that we have in between those two, I guess, ends of the spectrum. As we're consulting with students for our new food contract that's going to be coming up next year, I think it's going to be really important to investigate all of the different options that we have. And as a union, we're going to have to look at the economic considerations, obviously, because that's a large part of why the status quo has been going on for so long, because we do receive revenue from food contracts. So it's going to be important to figure out, if we remove exclusivity agreements, where the revenue is going to come from and what services we're going to have to cut. I certainly don't think this would be a huge blow to our union. It's just something we're going to have to consider. And I think it's something that we can educate students on and receive a lot of good, valid input from students regarding. Other important considerations are going to be where we hope the food service to go in the future, because it's not just going to be signing a contract for next year. We're going to have to look for the future, not just within the sub, but also where we want food service to go on all of campus. So that's the agreement that Dalhousie has, because as students, I think we can have a large impact on the rest of the university. So not only should we be considering what we're doing within our building, but we should also be looking at what influence this can have on the rest of campus.
Great, thank you. Neil?
I would get together with the people who are already involved in this, who have started talking about food, who've been working towards solutions. I would call them together during an election campaign. I would have a meeting with the public and all those involved, and then I would hold the next meeting next Monday at 3 p.m. in the sub.
Greg?
I personally, I'm for a little less talk, a little more action. I say we put up for referendum whether or not we should change our provider, and if we should change, should we go with a student-run option? Should we go with another outsourced option? But before that, I'd create cost-benefit analysis. I do PESTEL analysis. I do SWOT analysis. Most of which you people, I'm getting blank stares. So, but essentially, these are business analysis to see if something is feasible and to weigh the pros and the cons. And I haven't seen this done about our food option, about any of our expenditures, the fact that council spends $100,000 a year. Like, the theory we're taught isn't being practiced within our union. Like, I've never even heard the statement, that maybe we're spending too much money in council and in our executive offices. And if we cut off money there, we can direct more resources to things like societies, things like. That's my 2 cents.
Thank you, Greg. Next up is Chris, or for a rebuttal. Sorry, 30-second rebuttal.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to my first answer.
Okay. Neil, is there anything you want to? Greg?
I just want to add that the status quo, if we don't start a movement to change it now, it's always going to be like this. And it's always going to indirectly affect our educations. And after we all graduate and we leave, it's going to affect the reputation of our university, so therefore affect our professional careers. And we have a really good opportunity right now to change all our futures by bettering this university through bettering our union.